Hello, I'm Doug, and welcome to the KOJ Japan Podcast, a weekly podcast where we take you on audio journeys through Japanese culture.
This time on KOJ Japan Podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. With all of Season 6 episodes in the books, the crew sits back to recap a longer than usual season. With prep starting back to December 2024, the crew made Season 6 a year-plus long journey, and we are so thankful that you, our dear listeners, came along for the ride. In this episode, get to know the crew a little bit better as Jen and I discuss some crazy life stories that led to the longer-than-usual season, share some listener feedback received throughout the year, reveal some behind-the-scenes stories about how we landed, some of our favorite guests, what's to come in Season 7, and a whole lot more. Now you may be asking yourself, Doug, this intro is a lot shorter than usual. Are you mailing it in because it's the finale and you've got editing burnout? Hell yeah, I am. And hell yeah, I do. Let's dive into the episode. Are you new to the crew? Yokoso. We hope you enjoy this episode. If you like what you hear today, then you'll really love our back catalog of episodes from earlier this season and previous seasons. We've had some incredible guests, like world champion taiko drummer Takumi Kato sharing the thunderous sounds of taiko, influencer Taryn of Manga Lila diving into shoujo anime and manga, geisha guru Peter McIntosh sharing a look into the real world of geisha, and so much more. After you finish up this episode, hit that subscribe button or follow or whatever it is, and get notified when new episodes come out. Then while you wait for the new episode to drop, play catch up with the crew. But before you do any of that, let's dive into today's episode.
All right, so we are here to do our recap episode. This is something that we do every season towards the end where we kind of reminisce about the season. Season 6, man, Doug, it's been season 6.
Good times.
We're still doing this. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's at the point of recording, all of our interviews are done.
Yes.
Everything is done. Well, not everything.
Yeah, we just had an idea.
we're about to drop episode 17 tomorrow. So we're recording this a little in advance, but all of our actual legwork has been
Interviews,
done.
Done.
Editing is not done, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And if you hear a dog whining in the background, it's a puppy. That's a new addition to the crew. I don't know if my mic picks it up, but
I do hear it, but I don't know if it'll pick it up.
Okay.
But don't worry. I mean, we had craziness in some of our episodes where babies were crying in the background. You know, we do what we got to do.
Exactly. You can only control what you can control. Like this puppy is going nuts, and he decided to do this right when I started recording. So what can you do?
Maybe he hears you and he's like, "Please come play with me."
Maybe he's a pee machine.
I remember those days. Riku was a menace when he was a puppy. Literally made me cry several times.
There are days when I feel like crying. You can go through so many rolls of paper towel in one day. I didn't realize. Potty training will come, I'm sure. It just takes time. Yeah. I forgot how bad it is.
There you go, listeners. Things that we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But anyway, to kind of give a sense of how season 6 went for us, we premiered it back in May, which is kind of later than what we've done in previous seasons. Usually it's been April.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of just shows just how, I don't know, I feel like we just, we had stuff recorded in advance. I mean, I remember we did the Matsue Exchange episode back in December of 2024. And yet we didn't publish it until just recently.
And the social media episode, I believe, was in December as well. It was around the same time, wasn't it? No, it was in January. That was January.
I think it was in January, yeah.
It was around the Super Bowl. That's right.
We have all these things recorded ahead of time, but depending on how we order things and how we want it formatted for the season, sometimes we just don't even premiere a season till much later. Even though we have stuff.
And I think the goal, we always shoot for April. I think we've been on a spring release, except for season 2. That was a fall release, if I'm not mistaken. That was after Ida, 2021. Damn, that's a long time ago. But yeah, we usually stick to like spring releases just because it gives us some time to recalibrate after running through a season. And this year was running a little late because if you've listened to other episodes, we talked about this during the time when we wanted to launch the season back in April. We suddenly were in the house market. Buying a house. So that set back free time wise for me just to take care of podcasts and editing stuff. So I had to push back deadlines, which is I think that was probably the main reason.
It was the main reason, but I do know, and like listeners will not know this, but like our season opener was Katsura Sunshine with Rakugo. And I remember reaching out to him as like a good little shot in the dark. And I did that in April.
That's right.
And honestly, the recording didn't even happen till like, I think end of April, beginning of May. And we were like, we're just going to squeeze
it was mid-April. It was mid-April.
Mid-April? Okay.
Yeah.
But I remember we were like, okay, this is a great episode. Let's change every idea that we had. And he's going to be the opener for the season.
I forget who we had earmarked as the kickoff.
I have no idea. I don't remember. I threw all of my ideas away when I finally, we got that interview and I was like, okay, this will be great.
Yeah, we had a couple things lined up in terms of like the order and how we wanted to do it. And then when he responded back, it was like, oh, let's, he's kind of a big name. Let's put him in the front. Let's kick off with him. It's a big episode.
Yeah.
And it was a good one. It was a really fun one.
It was fun.
So props to you. You're Git.
But I do feel like this is how we prioritize episode releases. For those of you who may wonder how we even come up with like the order, or it definitely depends on stuff like that. Topic relevancy. So like the next episode after that, we did the World Expo in Osaka episode because it was so relevant. By the time it released, it was already kicking off.
Yeah. That released at the end of May. So it came out a little bit after the expo opened, but we did record it literally, I think it was like a week or two before the expo started.
Yeah, it was. It was 2 weeks before the expo started.
I know we're going to do like recruiting stories later on, but that one was funny because I literally just on LinkedIn, I don't know, I was trying to find people to talk to about it because I was like, how do you even approach this? Like, who's in charge? Who runs this thing? Because it's such a big event with so many people with their fingers in the pot. It's like, how the hell do we find someone to talk to this? And we had a couple leads through suggestions and friends. But, I just started searching World Expo or Japan Expo 2025 on LinkedIn and finding people randomly, just cold messaging. I was like, hey, you're interested? And we finally, our friends Megumi-san and eventually Sachiko-san graciously took us up on the offer. Or Megumi's who actually interacted with the most. And then she was like, let me see what I can do. And then she made it happen. So super props to her. But again, topic relevancy. It was one of those things that we thought, okay, it's a newer topic. We didn't have that episode kind of queued up. We had probably by March, we had maybe 6, I think, locked in. Maybe 7.
Yeah, so that one wasn't too crazy because like we knew about the expo months in advance. We knew this was a topic and we were like, let's cover it. Whereas the episode just came out like at the time of this recording like weeks ago, the politics episode.
Yeah.
We had this idea of doing a politics episode because we're like, this is a hot topic right now. We need to cover this now. Who can we get? And you found someone and it was so last minute for us. We were like, let's squeeze this in.
I mean, we were still looking. I think we had like 2 open slots, maybe 3 open slots left for episodes at that point of recording. Again, this is back in probably October.
Yeah, it was.
And it was just kind of one of those things where we got the email out, got a response, and then had a script and questions and things together.
Yeah,
and then
we like put the pedal to the metal for this one.
And on top of that, Tobias was leaving for Japan on I think it was like right after Halloween. So we had a very short window in which we would have been able to interview him while he was stateside, which would have been a lot easier to coordinate. So that was another thing. It was like, okay, we only have like a week and a half to get this done. And I think one time was we were going to try to do it and then we had to push it back. And it was just things happen. But yeah, it's kind of chaotic. There's a lot of lulls with these like interviews, but then also sometimes they just all happen at once. It's kind of weird how it works out, right?
Yeah.
And especially with the topics that like these that are time sensitive.
Very much so.
That you find someone that wants to talk about it, but then you have to kind of push that one in. I think another one that we didn't have listed on our little script here that we're kind of using for a guide was the shochu episode, because we
You're
had a
right.
shochu tasting in July where we were doing an event with Honkaku Spirits, and we wanted to get kind of a shochu 101 kind of backstory to kind of give as a primer for the event, also as an advertisement for the event. But that was one where we didn't really plan that out. In fact, actually, the beer episode was probably, I think it was like kind of earmarked for that spot. And then
It was. We were just going to do the beer one and be like, okay, that's it for alcohol. Then you were like, no, we have to squeeze in one more.
No, and it worked out. I actually really liked that episode. The way
I really do too. Surprisingly, I like that episode. I'm usually nixed on all the alcohol episodes because I'm like, that has nothing to do with me. But I actually enjoyed that one. That one's good.
Yeah, it was really informative, really fun. Yeah. Chris is a fantastic speaker.
He's great. Yeah. He was a hoot. And then not only topic relevancy, but like we have instances where the guests that we do have come on have things coming out or things happening that we're like, well, we want to help as much as possible. So, we release them in kind of like a timely order just to make it beneficial for them. For example, Hiroko's book release.
Yeah.
We kind of made sure her episode was like super close to that release date as much as possible.
Yeah, and at the time of recording, again, that's the episode coming out hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully.
But it'll be out before Christmas. It'll be under your tree. If you celebrate Christmas, it'll be under your tree or in your stocking or wherever. But her book comes out at the end of the year. So we're trying to really make sure that it's out there ahead just to give people an idea. Because again, it might be something that they didn't know they were interested in until they heard about it. And then she was really enthusiastic about the topics. And you could tell that from the episode, like super enthusiastic. Sure. Another one, actually a couple, Langston, who came on for our language school episode, had his own like textbook series that he had, launched on his own, put together, and just fantastic resources. And, it wasn't something that was coming out, but he did have I think it was like paperback release. Had just been launched or was about to be launched when we recorded the interview. And so, again, people are giving us their time, their energy, and we really want to give back for their generosity to join us and kind of come on and talk about their stuff. So we want to give them an opportunity to pitch and shout out their things, like Anton as well. He had his
I know we advertised the book.
Yeah, we advertised his book, but he also had a master class that he was hosting, and as well
That's
as
what it was. Yes,
just his properties. I think at that point were being open to the public and kind of releasing video footage and being able to see it. We're obviously not as big as Anton in Japan.
No.
Not even close. But, people who may listen to us locally may not be aware of Anton in Japan.
May not. Who knows?
And they might find out about him from there. So, and that's just a couple examples. I mean, everybody that came on for the most part had something that they're working on that we would try to at least put out there and share it out. So that's one of the big things that we try to do on this podcast. We want to give and take, and we like to try to give as much as we can back to our guests.
Yeah, especially our local listeners, because there's not really too many resources for Japan-esque things here down in New Orleans. So I'm glad we can kind of be that resource.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But of course, with every season, there's always some scheduling problems.
Hey, it's me again.
No, we love you, Doug.
No, this year was definitely me.
It was rough for you. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. You had a lot going on. So our listeners probably noticed that our mid-season break was kind of extended. It was longer than usual. And we kind of we needed that to have time so Doug could edit.
Yeah.
And I say this in every recap in a bunch of episodes, I think, but listeners, I'm telling you, editing stuff sucks. It's not fun. And so for Doug to do this solo, kudos to him for carrying the podcast in the production sense, because it is hard work. It takes so much time. So if Doug needs a break, if Doug needs more time, if he needs to stall, I will always say yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was crazy. The house thing really. It was not just buying a house and then selling a house. It was two parts. I know, that's even harder. Especially in this market, selling the house. Oh, God. Yeah, and usually in the summers, I have a lot more free time while the family's in Japan and I'm back home. I'm in Japan too for a little bit, but I have a good solid 5 weeks where I can kind of get things done, and don't have like kids activities or, like family obligations to take care of at home. But this past year, we had the house. I had to pack up a house. Thank God for my parents helping me out. We had to do a lot of the packing to get moved before I went back to Japan to kind of help bring the family back home. And in the middle of that, one of my pets passed away, unfortunately. And so it was just usually summers are pretty cool, pretty chill. This was definitely not a chill summer.
Not that summer.
I'm not going to, I mean, we had renovations on the new house that we're going through while packing up the old house, with a lot of fun stuff that comes with renovations. Our house almost burning down.
I remember that. I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yikes. Thank God for my electrician catching something.
But if it wasn't for your house situation, like usually the first half of the season is the easiest.
Yeah. Usually it's the first half is usually done by June.
Yeah.
Or maybe July. Yeah. Well, I think the first half we got through. There was a couple weeks off here but we got through the first half of the season. I feel like the first 9 episodes, if we had not taken a 2-week break, we probably would have had the first 10 episodes done before I went back to Japan. And then would have had some kind of queued up for when I came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just traditionally, our second half is usually the chaos, because that's when we have a bunch of holidays that we're like, we can't record. We can't do anything. We have no time for anything because of holidays.
Holidays, just chaos. So it comes and goes in waves. And usually that the breaks that we give ourselves will allow us to get a little bit of runway to kind of buy us time. And that 2-month break that we had, that extended break that we had, really helped.
Yeah. So I think because of like our experience this season, I mean, I don't know, it's up to you. I know we kind of talked about it, but like in order for us to stay a weekly release podcast, which I do want to stay weekly, I think that's such a great idea. We might have to just like kind of work on like when we release on the week, because I don't know if Fridays are any good for you still. I think that's kind of been rough.
Well, I mean, if it's weekly, it's still going to be, it's a cadence, right? So like there's like the Friday releases, and then there's the social media stuff that comes like later on. We usually, if you follow us on any of our social media platforms, we try to have a release video graphic and then a
kind of preview.
Like a preview. No, it's like a preview, but like a clip, I guess, really a little clip that comes a few days after as kind of additional promotion. If we push to a Monday release, then it's going to be probably a Thursday that we had the clips. It really doesn't matter too much, honestly. I think my thing is once I get to a release and I release it, then I'm like, I can breathe for a few days. And then I kind of work through it. So I don't mind the Fridays, or like maybe even Saturday morning would probably give me, I think Saturday mornings would be, but I don't know about Saturday morning releases. So, hey, if you're listening right now and you think, does it even matter to you? Like it pops up in your podcast feed and then do you listen right away? Like, we don't know. I don't listen to podcasts always right away. They pop up. I add them to my queue and then I might listen to them a week or two later. So
yeah, I guess it depends on like who it is, because like for one particular podcast I do listen to, well, I did when I had time, like religiously on Fridays, because that's when they published. But no, I don't know what
we'll have to revisit the cadence or figure, not cadence so much, but like the scheduling. And maybe if you're listening to this episode, which I mean, I'm hoping you are. If you're hearing my voice right now, you're listening. Then just let us know. Send us a message on email or any social media, really, and give us some feedback on that. Just because I know that that kind of feedback is hard to gauge from people.
It is. It really is.
And you can only get so much from your podcast analytics stuff that we have in our back pocket from Simplecast and from YouTube. But so that's just a little behind the scenes making of the podcast. Fun stuff.
Well, no, what's more fun is our guests.
Yes. The dopamine hit of getting a guest to say yes. Say yes to the guest.
That feeling is so real. I'm so glad you said that phrase, because that is such a feeling. So this season we had 17 guests in total that I can think of. You let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it's 17.
Well, let me think. Hold on. Are you counting? Give me a second.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Are you counting the 2 Chris's for the beer episode as one guest or 2?
I think 1. Yeah. If it's a 2-person, I'm counting as a 1.
Okay. And then Megumi was on the Expo episode, but she kind of only spoke for like 30 seconds at the end.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we had, I feel like we had
We had a good
17 unique episodes with guests.
Yes.
Because we had that one soccer episode that was, it was a
2-parter.
Yeah, it was a 2-parter. It was very much, you could kind of split it down the middle, but
Yes,
when we
that's
tried
what
not to
we
make
did.
it a 2-part episode, but it was basically a 2-parter.
Yeah. And I mean, I like having guests, but I do miss our little chit chats. But we only had 1 chit chat this season, just you and I.
We might have a second.
We might have a second. We were just thinking about it. So that's exciting.
That's the episode Jen was referring to earlier, where it was like, hey, should we do something else? And I'm like, because we were going to maybe incorporate that into this episode. So if you do end up getting this episode and it's episode 21 instead of 20, that's because we last second inserted, spoiler. I mean, if you're hearing it now, you either heard it or didn't. That Japan review for 2025. So kind of like we did this back in season 2 for 2021. It was it was a fun type of episode.
It was a fun episode. Yeah. So chill. But I do enjoy our guests. Enjoy our guests. We had some fabulous guests this season, some really memorable ones, some really like, oh my God, we don't even know if we're going to get this. So we're not even going to tell the Japan Society board, like, we have this guest coming, because we're like, we don't know if this is going to work out.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of those like that. There still are a few out there that are
I know. Don't remind
dangling
me.
fruits, dangling carrots, whatever they are, dangling food items out there.
Some of them aren't even dangles. I feel like some of them are the fruit dropped off the tree and just rotting on the ground. And I'm like praying that it comes to life.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, but I am happy that we had 2 returning guests this season. So, for those of you who have been long listeners of us, back in season 2, and Doug, I don't think you were on this episode. I think this episode was just Nigel and I back in the day.
Oh yeah,
we had Hiroko Yoda on with Matt Alt, because they're husband and wife. Back in season 2, episode 5, they did like this yokai kind of episode for spooky season, which I'm all down for. And then another returning guest that we had, which I'm super happy about because I love her. She's so sweet. Loretta from Kemushi-chan on YouTube. She came on first, season 3, episode 16. And I remember when I emailed her and got her on the first time that Nigel was like so excited because he loved her too. So I'm really glad she came on again. And heck, I know a perfect episode for her to come on for another season. So like maybe she'll make a 3rd appearance in the future.
She was interested, and I
know she was.
We've been keeping in touch here and there, so I don't think it was her last appearance. I hope not.
I hope not too. She's so lovely.
Yeah. We try to share out her stuff on. I just did the other day. Like she shared something randomly about Iwaki, and I was like,
"Of course, you had to share."
Of course, I mean that's like my home away from home. Well, it was my home away from home. Ibaraki's more my home away from home now, but basically, right? Like, so I was like, oh, I gotta. And then she was like, "What? You didn't tell me you lived there." I'm like, well, I didn't know you were gonna go and do this. So it was really cool to see that pop up there. I always love.
Well, yeah, and then like I remember when you went to Japan, guys. I hate it when Doug goes to Japan during the summer because he meets all of our guests without me, and I get so upset because I'm like, how dare you be friends with all these people that I want to be friends with? But it was so sweet. They sent me a video of like Loretta saying hi to me and chit-chatting, and man, you made my day when you sent that.
Well, we wanted to say hi, so
yeah, I appreciated that.
Yeah. It was very great to have her back and Hiroko both back. And again, for a lot of our guests, if we ever have an opportunity to bring anybody back, or if you listening out there liked someone and think of another idea for them to come on and talk about.
Oh, definitely.
Lend us some ideas. I mean, we never have a shortage of ideas. Sometimes we have a shortage of ideas. I mean, maybe not a shortage, but we're always open to ideas.
I think we're open to a bunch of ideas because we're always like, hey, I have this idea. What do you think? And then we're like, maybe we could, but not at this time. Maybe we should cover this topic before that topic as like an intro topic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that always happens.
So Did you have a specific guest where you had a story that you thought was compelling or unique to recruitment for the episode? Like anything that you could share? I know sometimes like you don't want to give too much details about like what goes on in the background, but did you have a fun story from like recruiting a guest this season that kind of like shocked you? Aside from Rakugo, I mean, you mentioned Katsura Sunshine like kind of got back to you out of the blue.
Not out of the blue, because like I did, he was very timely. It was the sense of like just trying to get with his schedule and our schedule kind of situation, and it was just like a shot in the dark. It wasn't like I thought anything was going to come of it. I mean, as far as our guests, I feel like
What
no, I
about?
don't.
Yeah, you do. What about the guests that you recruited at Nagus?
Oh, hi, listeners. Okay, so remember how I was just talking about how like we have guests that we don't know if we're ever going to actually have something solidify because of things, so we don't tell the Japan Society board. We're like when we have our moment of telling them how the podcast is going or whatever. Yeah, so when I went to Nage's conference this year back in like August, so I went to a panel that I didn't know what was going to come of it. It was like the connection of like Japanese with baseball and America. And I was like, this seems cool. Let me just go to this. And there was like 3 different panelists. And one of the panelists, I was like, oh, that would be cool episode that we could do and a cool connection.
Shohei Ohtani.
No. Stop it. Stop it. So, no. It's Amy. She works for Players Trust. And I mean, their organization has the ability to like connect us to people possibly with different aspects of like connecting Japan and the US regarding baseball. But we had her on specifically for this season to just kind of talk about that connection that baseball is having between the two countries, which is amazing in itself that a sport can do that. And from that, we're hoping this grows into so much more. So, like, if you like Japanese baseball, continue to listen to our podcast because I'm hoping from this initial interview, we get a bunch more opportunity to kind of explore this topic together.
Yeah, and again, if you have listened to the episode already, then you know what we're talking about. But if you haven't, it's the one with Amy Heaver and Chris Capiano, who's a former MLB player, now one of the executives of the MLBPA. And the Players Trust is a philanthropy arm of the MLBPA. They support the players who want to do charity and local community work.
Yeah.
Things like that. Really, really fun episode, and awesome to hear about some of the things that they are trying to build and grow in local communities, and not only in the US, but in Japan. So that wouldn't have happened if Jen hadn't gone to that panel. So
I know. It's so crazy. Listen, when I went to that conference, I was kind of like, okay, our president went with me. So I was like, he has the Japan Society stuff regarding like all that. I was like, when I go, I'm going to focus on what can benefit the podcast.
There you go.
So I did that. Yay,
so I
me.
have 2. I'm holding up 3 fingers, but
okay.
So we don't technically count this as a season 6 episode, but it was recorded, or not recorded, but released after our season 5 recap. But the Lafcadio Hearn like 2024 King of Carnival episode,
right.
It's technically season 5, but that one was like a year in the making, and I had to like kind of tap into a bunch of different like folks. I have some family that rides in different parades. One of them is in Rex, and so he was able to give me some names to reach out and talk. So being able to get in touch with some of the Rex folks to kind of put me in touch with Caroline, who was the art, the designer for the floats for the Rex parade, and then also to help kind of allow me to connect with PBS, who allowed me to use some of their coverage from the Rex Ball as part of our content, and then also Matt. And it was just a lot of different
you had a lot of working parts for that episode.
That was like a year in the works. Like interviews I recorded back in like April of 2024, and I had to get approval for some things here and there, and then to put it all together. And that was a fun one. I wanted to call back to that one because I don't know if a lot of people, with the bonus episodes, and they kind of come out after the season ends. So I don't know if
there's like no warning for the episode. We're just like, hey, bonus episode, random.
yeah. But the other one I was. The one I thought was like kind of funny and out of nowhere was, and not really out of nowhere, I initiated the contact, but Takeshi Yagi for the Ultraman Max episode, or the Ultraman Tokusatsu episode. It goes back to the Konishiki episode because I found out about, or I tried to reach out to Konishiki. He wanted me to check out what they had at the time, something called Naro TV. He's like, check this out. If you like it, reach back out to me and then we'll talk. And so I ended up getting him on for that episode back in season 4. But when I was going through Naro's stuff, they had all these other different types of like masterclass type things. And one of them was making tokusatsu. And that's where I found Yagi-san's name. And I was like, oh, that seems pretty interesting. And then I found him on social media. And then most of his content is in Japanese, but it seemed like he was pretty good at communicating in English too. So I was like, all right, let me just send a message and see what happens. I forget if it was Instagram first or Twitter or email. I sent to 3. But it got back, and then it was just kind of back and forth. I had some things that came up. I know initially when I reached out to him back in November of last year, it was like he was in the middle of doing some kind of production, so he couldn't really do anything at the time. He said reach back out in a little bit. I did, and then we kind of kept going back and forth, and then eventually locked it in. So that was really wasn't really expecting that one to really go anywhere. And if I'd never done the Konishiki episode, it would never actually happen. For me, that was a really cool like recruitment story, because again, it was like kind of unexpected to pull that guest at all. Like the director of,
and I know that's
Ultraman.
your jam. Yeah, I know that's your jam. So like,
it's fun.
Good that it happened.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that is your jam is letting me know about our stats.
Okay, I don't have full stats because again, I'm not going to give the full season right now. I may append it at the end of the season once we have everything recorded. But as of today, December 23rd, we have 16 episodes that are released. Our top 3. So I break it down to top 3 downloads, because downloads kind of looks at all the downloads for the different podcast apps. And then I do downloads plus YouTube, because YouTube, is a download equal to a view? I don't know. Probably not, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
So we have our top 3 downloads only, and then top 3 downloads plus YouTube. So I will give you, for number 3, for our downloads only, is, what do you think it was? I'm going to ask you first.
Oh, man. I hate that. I don't know. How am I supposed to know?
I don't know. You got 16 choices.
I know, that's awful. Do not play this game with me. Just tell me.
All right. It was the politics episode, which is a more recent one, which is surprising to me, because not really surprising. I knew it did really well in general. We advertise across all the social media platforms, but this one really popped up of all of them. LinkedIn is the one where it kind of got a lot of the most impressions or whatever. So that one did really well. Actually had a tie for 2 as of noon Central on the 23rd. The Expo episode and the Akia episode tied for the same number of downloads.
Wow.
And then number 1, you will never guess this one.
Then I don't even want to try if it's like something out.
It was the social media episode. It wasn't even one with a guest.
What?
It was the one with social media.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, that one actually also did really well on LinkedIn.
I'm so happy.
I think those, like, social media and just kind of like looking into the world and how the world interacts with Japan via social media, I think that idea in general is just intriguing to a lot of people. So
it is, but this also just tells me this makes me feel so happy about doing episodes with just you and me, because like with that, we only have our own brains and our own knowledge. And that just makes me feel, and I don't mean to be conceited in any kind of way by saying this, but like it makes me feel like people actually care about what we say. And that
or at
makes
least
me
want
so
to give
happy.
us a chance. At least want to give us a chance. But
yeah, it makes me so happy. Oh, yay.
Yeah, so that was our number 1 for our downloads only. Now, the 2 of them returned back to back in our top 3 for downloads on YouTube. Politics was number 3 again. 2 was social media. And 1 was Rakugo. So that one really boomed.
It did really well on
YouTube. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
The soccer episodes actually did really well on YouTube too. I know that Dan had shared those out for us a lot, and I think he used the YouTube links as the primary. So regardless, if our guests share out our content, that is always super appreciated, whether it's one link, whether it's all of it, accepting a collaborator on Instagram, whatever it is. I mean, any kind of
it definitely helps.
Sharing helps us out, and it helps, it helps the visibility of those episodes. So infinitely thankful to all of our guests, especially when they share.
Yeah.
まもなく post-production update が参ります. All right, a little quick interjection post-production. Today is February 20th, 2026. Obviously 2 months after we recorded this recap episode. So we have a few updated numbers. Top 3 downloads. Number 3, the new number 3, is the jazz musician in New Orleans with Haruka Kikuchi. Number 2 is our spirituality in Japan with Hiroko Yoda. And our number 1 still is social media. Now, as for downloads and YouTube, number 3 is Now Politics with Tobias Harris. Number 2, spirituality is still right there at number 2. And number 1 is still Rakugo. So I just wanted to give you an updated breakdown of our top 3 in both categories since it's been a couple months since we recorded this actual episode. But I'll leave y'all alone. We'll get back to the episode. But in general, like trending wise, like our numbers for like episode downloads per first 7 days, it jumped by, I want to say an additional 33%. I'm going to go with 33, maybe like 37.8% higher. I just pulled that number out of my ass, but yeah, it jumped a good bit.
Yeah.
We saw a sizable increase in audience and listeners, which is great. I mean, it's something you, as a podcaster, you hope to see over time. 6 seasons in, you hope to see that. But we've had a good, steady, continual growth. Fun stuff. But yeah. Jen, I know one of your favorite parts of this is like having listener feedback and getting listener feedback. And I know you in particular had a couple different...
I did.
So why don't you share one of them?
Our listeners. I'm going to go with the first one that I can think of because it's been so many years. So to like get everyone up to speed on like what I'm talking about. In 2022, we had this listener, Amelia, email us saying how much she was loving the podcast and she enjoyed the episodes. Particularly, it sounded like she liked our travel episodes because she like name dropped Rob Dyer and Kay Allen. So she was like, what I really want though is a vegan food travel episode. When she said that, obviously me being an avid viewer on YouTube for like people that vlog in Japan, I'm like, oh my God, I have so many ideas of who I could like get on for this episode. But of course, none of those ideas ever came to fruition.
She tried for a long time.
I tried for so long. Like I said, remember, this initial email was in 2022, and I immediately worked on trying to do this. And that never happened until 2025, this year. I finally found someone on social media. I found her on Instagram, Leonor, with Itataki Healthy. And she was really cool on Instagram. I loved her posts. Just she's a certified, dietitian. And this girl, she can definitely help me get this episode done. And I need to get it done for Amelia. So I got it done. And you would never guess who emailed after the episode released. Amelia. So MVP for Amelia. She, from 2022 to 2025, she is clearly an avid listener of ours. And she emailed us saying, thank you so much for getting that suggestion to happen. And that she was super excited for listening to it because she is now prepared for her trip to Japan. And she's definitely making reservations that, Leonard suggested in the episode. And that just made me so emotional. I was so happy I could get it done for Amelia. And, I replied saying that and just, it's so heartwarming.
Well, good job. Good job. You did it. Yay.
It was so stressful. And then another cute email that I received, I believe it was after our social media episode, because that's what he referenced that he was listening to. This gentleman, his name is Mike. He lives in Seattle, but apparently he goes to Kyoto a lot. He spends his time in Kyoto about 4 or 5 months each year, visiting, I think, his son that lives there, which is cool because in the episode, I think I talk about like my connection with Kyoto and how I kind of have that as my base as well. And how I have connections over there and like I know the neighborhood, I know the cities. And I mentioned in the episode, I think, about a watering hole. Like I have a watering hole. And he was very intrigued on what I was referencing for my ramen watering hole. So he emailed us and was like, please tell me this place because I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to try it. And so I told him over email, like, where it was. And I was like, you've probably passed it. Like, it's in like a very touristy area of Kyoto, but it looks like a hole in the wall. So like you would never think of going there because it kind of looks not shady because that doesn't seem positive. It just looks a little run down because like I said, hole in the wall, literally hole in the wall. But I was telling him where it was exactly. And I was just so excited to have like a fellow Kyoto visitor just like reach out and be like, hi, I like Kyoto too. So we bonded over Kyoto in those emails back and forth. And man, it was just great. I love hearing from our listeners. Guys, if you are listening to our podcast, if you email us or even message us on social media, like Doug and I are always thrilled to talk to y'all. It means so much to us just doing this. And having people listening, that's like the biggest thing about this. Like, if we didn't have y'all, like, we wouldn't even probably bother to do this. But we see the numbers, we see y'all's comments, we see y'all's likes. So that's what like keeps us motivated and keep going. And so, yeah, love our listeners. So if you have any feedback or you have suggestions or you want to talk to us more about a particular topic that we did, please contact us, chat with us. We love talking to you.
Yeah, I need that motivation and validation.
Yeah, for sure.
I had actually 2 feedback things too. Not necessarily, well, one was reached out. It turned into a guest. Chris Madere of Gretna, who works for Baird Brewing, reached out to us. I think it was like the summer of 2024. So last year. Well, I guess say last year, but I guess when you're listening to this, it'll be 2026. So, but anyway, Chris reached out to us. Just said, he found the podcast and was trying to see if we were connected to, Japan Club, Japan Society, things about in New Orleans in general. Then also extended the option of saying, hey, if you ever want to talk beer, let us know. We'd love to come on. And here we are, a year later, had that episode. Great time talking to them. I haven't had a chance to meet those guys. So I'm really looking forward to this upcoming summer, hopefully being able to catch up with one or both of the Chris's for a pint somewhere, one of their tap rooms or something. But that was really cool. That came out of listener feedback as well. Like he discovered the podcast, still listens. He was aware when I emailed him and said, "Hey guys, remember me 6 months ago? We did an interview." He was like, "Yeah, I've been following along, and I knew you guys had a little break." So he was aware, and it's cool. Again, he seems like he's a listener too, not just a guest, a listener.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
And then another listener turned guest, which this episode hasn't come out yet. It's going to be a bonus episode that's coming out.
But we just recorded it.
Yeah, we just recorded it. It's going to be a bonus episode that's going to come out after this release. But it's going to bookend our Expo episode. Leah, who was a youth ambassador for the Expo, the US Pavilion, she reached out and just, again, found the podcast and was, just wanted to say she enjoyed it. And also if we were ever interested in hearing more about the youth ambassador experience and what that was like, boots on the ground, that to let her know. She's a local and she was happened to be in New Orleans. We met up at Japan Fest and then turned into an episode. So, things happen. Just if you send us a message, you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Because Walden was like that too back in season.
Right.
Was it 5, 4, 5?
4? 5?
4, 5?
I don't know. I don't even know what's in season 6 anymore.
Seriously, listeners, email us, connect with us. We love to hear from you. You give us great ideas. You give us the motivation to do things. So yeah, definitely chat with us.
We do. We need all the motivation and help we can get, especially for season 7, which is going to be coming out in 2026.
Oh my God. To just say we have a podcast that we've done 7 seasons is going to be crazy. I said that last year.
We got to get through it though. That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah, no, we actually have one episode that, again, I haven't said. I actually dropped this in a comment on LinkedIn on a random post, on someone's post, that we had this episode in the bank, in the vault of our recordings, but it's never been released yet. It's because it's a lot of work.
Oh, that episode.
Yeah. Maybe that'll come out. Maybe that'll be a season 7 episode if I ever figure out how the hell to edit it out. But it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And I I mean, it's still interesting, but the things that we talk about, the works, is kind of irrelevant now. But
Yeah.
it's still interesting and fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. It's to give an idea, we did something similar as an episode in season 3 with Eiji Uchida, a director, and this is another director producer who does film. But I'm not going to say the names because again, I don't want to
Yes. Don't
oversell,
spoil.
overhype.
Yeah, don't spoil. Don't. We're not committed.
Yeah, it'll get out. I just don't know when.
Yeah, exactly.
But we do have, obviously we have a lot of other ideas that are in the works. We have guests that we have, some that we've reached out to before, may circle back to on things. Returning guests, we have a few in mind that we'd like to reach out to and maybe coordinate again.
For sure. I mean, I have so many episode ideas. So like season 7 is going to be fun. I think we're going to have some good stuff. And I think, like always, we're going to have things recorded beforehand. And then we'll see, when it actually releases and when we start premiering season 7. But like we said in the beginning, we aim for April, but you never know. It could always be May. Who knows?
Well, the good thing is I won't be buying a house next year.
Yes, that is the good news. And I have no plans to, so I don't have to worry about that either.
Yeah. So hopefully my summer will be a little bit better and I can keep us on schedule much better than we did before.
Yeah. I'm just super excited to get started on recording for season 7 because I really do. I love the ideas that you and I have like thrown out there. We just have to like solidify the guests or like get it done. But like I'm super excited for some of the topics. And some of them are going to be like super new for what we're doing because like just the ideas. I don't know. It's so niche that I'm just like, whew, hopefully it works out well.
we got a couple logs in the fire. Got to see if they turn into a bigger fire.
Yeah.
But hopefully not a dumpster fire. Hopefully it's just a good fire, a bonfire, a good fire.
Yeah, hopefully it was good ideas.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, so that's it. I mean, we're shooting for probably late spring. Earlier would be possible. Just depends on how things work out. So it's all like kind of a guest. If we get things rolling with guests and get things recorded with guests, then, that allows us to start kind of getting planning in action and getting things rolling. So we'll see.
Because we don't like to release a season and until we have like a good backlog of things already recorded and edited. Like we want to make sure we give Doug some cushion.
I need cushion.
Yeah.
This office chair is not comfortable. Actually, I need to ask Santa for an office chair. I only got 2 days left, so might be too late.
Now, we don't talk about this too often during the podcast season, but we are part of Japan Society of New Orleans. We wouldn't be doing this without them. I mean, they are such a great support system for us. They love just like letting us have free roam of this, which is great. I love the creative field. So like to have them let us have this like space is great. And I think now we can say it because it's official and the gears are starting. But like, remember how I was talking about the NAGES conference that I went to with our president back in August? Well, it's coming to the Big Easy, people. NAGES conference is going to be here in New Orleans for 2026. I'm so excited because I get to share this opportunity with you, Doug.
Yay. I get to go. And I think I'm actually be doing a panel.
You and I are, they want us to do a panel for like how to produce a podcast for societies.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're from another Japan America society, come say hey and tell me you listened to this episode in particular to this point.
Yeah. Come to our panel when we have it. I'm super excited for it though, because I believe we're the only society that has a podcast. Because like when I went to NAGES, like everyone was like, that's super impressive. I would love to do that. And I'm like, good luck. It's a lot of hard work. But to actually sit down with them and to discuss it for a panel, I think that would be so much fun. It's kind of like what we always wanted to do. So listeners, you will never know this because we don't talk about it. We've had a few times where we debated about doing like a live recording session for the podcast.
We mentioned it. I think we were supposed to do a convention.
Well, we were supposed to, but then you had something come up and you couldn't for work. But like we always had it in the back of our minds to do that. And I feel like this panel at NAGES could be that opportunity for us where we kind of do like this recap kind of thing, but like more behind the scenes podcast stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it could be a bonus episode just to kind of put it out there as like, hey, here's a sneak, here's a panel that we did at this, and if there's questions people can ask, I don't know, we'll figure that
Yeah, I
out
don't
too.
know.
But
Interesting. Yeah.
it's there. I mean, bonus episodes to me sound like just episodes in general, meaning work.
They do.
But
They do. They do.
we'll see how I
But
feel next
yeah.
summer. But
But yeah, so
that'll be
2026 is
fun.
going to be an exciting year, Season 7 of the podcast. We have Nages coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
it's
we
just gonna
have
be a fun year.
our monthly events for Japan Society. Jen runs our book club. Is it quarterly now or every 2 months?
I believe it is quarterly now because I believe there's 4 that I planned out for 2026. Like I literally already have it on the calendar for
Okay.
throughout
Sweet.
the year. So it's already done.
Sweet. And then we have our happy hours
Yeah.
every third Wednesday usually third Wednesday, unless there's something going on, and then we have language classes that should be starting up in 2026.
Yes, I'm hoping to get that situated.
Yeah, language classes and language groups like meetups.
Yeah, conversation
groups. So
Yeah.
that's something coming down the pike for Japan Society. That's new, not new, but new in the 2020s, because ever since pandemic
Yeah.
happened, we haven't really had a language component as programming. So really excited to get that off the ground and running.
Yeah, but of course, because we live in New Orleans, most of this will not happen until Mardi Gras is over.
yeah, we got a little bit of logistical things to navigate with Mardi Gras, but then we have our cinema series too. I don't want to forget about that, and then other programs that just pop up. You never know. So just if you need to follow or find out about Japan Society, or want to find out more about Japan Society, or if you're going to be visiting New Orleans and want to contact Japan Society to see if we have any events going on, you could find us, Krewe Japan, on Instagram, all the social media platforms. Same thing for Japan Society New Orleans. If you just search Japan Society of New Orleans, it should pull up on all the platforms, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So except Twitter. I don't think we have Twitter or LinkedIn officially. Or check us out on our website. All that will be linked out in the show notes, so you don't have to really worry about going too far to find that. But yeah, so that's your options there. But do reach out if you ever come into town and you want to see what's going on. We usually have 1 or 2 events a month, so check us out.
Well, Doug, I think we are done wrapping up season 6.
Holy shit! All right, let's thank God. And I mean, I say that, but I still have like 3 more episodes to edit.
Yeah, you did.
Not counting this one. And then the one that we talked about maybe having.
That we just came up. Oh my God. We do this to ourselves, Doug. We do this to ourselves.
We do this to me. What are you talking about?
I love you. Don't do that.
No, there's I'm looking forward to it. I always like editing. I say that with a smile.
I say, with this chaos and with doing this, I'm glad I'm doing this with you, Doug. You have been a pleasure to work with. You're such a great co-host. I feel like we vibe really well together. So like, thank you, Doug, for sticking with this with me, and just I can't wait for season 7 with you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. You never know what's gonna happen, so you only can follow us on social media or listen to us to find out.
Yes.
All right. Well, Jen, we made it.
We did. Now we can breathe.
How do we end this?
If you haven't listened to some of our older episodes, go ahead, go do that before season 7 starts. And yeah, we'll see y'all in season 7.
Yeah, we're going to cut right to the outro from here. So that's the cutting sound. So there we go.
Oh God, you're such a dad.
Later. And that's it for this week's episode and season 6. Thank you so much for tuning into the Krewe Japan podcast today and all season long. Don't forget, we got a bonus episode coming out in a few weeks or so check back in and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notifications. Anyway, we really appreciate you being our companions for all of these weekly or sometimes every other weekly journeys through Japanese culture. New to the podcast? Well, you got plenty to keep you entertained until season 7 starts. And as we mentioned throughout this past episode, we'd love to hear from our listeners. So if you have an idea for season 7, whether it's a topic or a guest, or just want to drop us a line in chat, share with us on all of the social media platforms: Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, X. You can find us by searching Krewe of Japan, that's KREWEOFJAPAN. While you're there, give us a comment, like, follow, share, whatever floats your boat. Let us know how you're enjoying the podcast. Or perhaps maybe you prefer to provide your feedback in a more private setting. Just like I love alliteration right there with all those P's. Send us an email at kreweofjapanpodcast@gmail.com. That's KREWEOFJAPANPODCAST@gmail.com. Your email may inspire an episode or end up right on one of our recaps. Who knows? Only one way to find out. Speaking of feedback, if you're enjoying what you're listening to today, please feel free to leave a 5-star rating and or review on your favorite podcast streaming app. If you're still listening to this point, please, as a parting gift for season 6, do us that favor. Every single one of those 5-star ratings and reviews helps others interested in Japan and this kind of content find the podcast. Or hey, just tell a friend about us. We're 100% sincere when we say that any and all support is incredibly appreciated. Don't forget, check out our show notes for all the links to Krewe of Japan, Japan Society, all that fun stuff. Follow us in the off season. But that's it for today. See you in season 7. Looking to start your own podcast and don't know what platform to use? Tell me about it. When we started the Krewe of Japan podcast, we tried a bunch of the big name recording platforms, but always came back to the one we're still currently using to this day, Zencastr. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. In addition to its high audio and video quality for podcast production, Zencastr provides a full suite of production tools to record, produce, and publish studio quality content from the comfort of your home. Just log in through your browser and start recording. It's that simple. For us, we simply send out links to our guests and they join the lobby. But before you know it, it's all done and you have your studio quality audio and up to 4K video right there ready for you, right when you finish. The best part is having their multi-layered backups to ensure that your recordings are in the highest quality, regardless of anyone's internet connection stability. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcasts in one place and distribute to all the major destinations. It's really that easy. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code Krewe of Japan, KREWEOFJAPAN, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's your time to share your story.